Alright, Chapter 7, Rules and Regulations. The questions in this section generally apply to all the segments of an amateur radio. Serve with the public of voluntary non-commercial communication, serve with particularly with respect to providing emergency communication, continuing the extension of the amateur's proven ability to contribute to the advancement of the radio art, encourage improvement of the amateur radio service through the rules and provide with advanced skills in both the communication technical phases of the art. Expansion of the existing reservoir within the amateur radio service and train opera technicians and electronic experts. 5. Continuation extension of the amateur's unique ability to enhance international goodwill. 7.2. Define term in amateur radio service. The amateur radio service is radio communication service with self-training, telecommunication, and technical investigation carried out on amateur's radio operators. Define the term amateur radio operator. Amateur radio operator is a person interested in the radio, technically solely with a personal aim, without pecuniary interest in holding Federal Communication Commission license to operate amateur radio stations. Defined with the term amateur radio station. Amateur radio station is a station licensed for the amateur radio service embracing the new necessary for the apparatus for the particular location used for the amateur radio communication. 7.5. Defined with the term control station. Control station is a station licensed to conduct with the remote control of another amateur radio station. 7.6. Defining the term station license. The station license is instrument authorization from the Federal Communication Commission for a radio station in the amateur radio service. What is a primary station? Primary station is a principal amateur radio station at the specific land location shown on the station's license. 7.8. How effective is the radiated power calculated? Effective of the radiated power is product of the radio frequency power expressing when I was delivered to an antenna relative to the gain of the antenna over the half-wave dipole antenna. 7.9. What are the frequency emission privileges that authorized the novice class license? Radio telegraph authorized frequency bands from 3700 and 3750 kilohertz, 7100 to 7150 kilohertz when terrestrial location stations not within range, and 2. 21,100 to 21,200 kilohertz and 28,100 to 28,200 kilohertz use only type A1 emissions. How long is the novice class license valid? May it be renewed. Novice class license is normally valid for a period of 5 years. If the data issued, it can be renewed. What are the height limitations placed on the amateur radio antenna structures? Unreasonable height of the antenna structure may adversely affect the strategy, safety of the air navigation. What are the reasonable responsibility of station license? The license for the amateur station is responsible for its proper operation, addition, conforming with the commission rules, regulation. Each amateur station must be operated in accordance with good engineering, good amateur practice. 7.13. My amateur radio station permits a third party to participate in radio communication from his station. Licensed amateur radio stations may permit a third party to participate in amateur radio communication from his station, provided the control operator is present and continuously monitors and supervises radio communications to ensure compliance with these rules. What are the primary responsibility of the control operator? Every amateur radio station when in operation shall have a control operator authorized control point. Control operators shall be on the duty except where the station is operated under the automatic control. Control operators may be in another amateur radio operator with required class license designated by the station license. Control operator shall also be responsible to give the station license proper operation of the station. During the operation, when should amateur station call sign be transmitted? Amateur station should be identified with the transmission and call sign beginning and ending with a signal transmission exchange transmission intervals not exceeding 10 minutes during a single transmission exchange with a transmission or more than 10-minute duration. Additionally, at the end of the exchange of the telegraph or other teleprinter or telephone transmission between amateur station and call sign generally accepted with a network identifier shall be given for the station for at least one group of stations which is communication was established. Under what conditions, if any, one-way communication is authorized. Amateur stations may use the transmittal signals, communication, or energy or receiving apparatus measurement of emission, temporary observation, transmission phenomena, radio control, radio objects, similar experimental purposes. In addition, experimental one-way transmission following kind of one-way communication addressed over the amateur station authorized will not be construed as broadcasting emergency communication, including bona fide emergency drill with the practice submit transmissions, information, bulletins consisting solely of the subject matter or having direct interest to the amateur radio service as such. See a roundtable discussion that type of operations where more than two amateur stations are in communication, each station taking a turn transmitting to the other station of the group. According to the practice transmission intended for the person learning or improving proficiency in International Morse Code. 717. Discuss the rules regarding availability, purpose of the inspection, and the station license for the transmitting station. Original license for each amateur radio station, photocopy thereof, shall be posted in continuous place in the room occupied by the licensed operator, except in a personal possession while the station is being operated at a fixed location. When the station is operated at other fixed location with the original station license, a photocopy thereof should be kept in the personal possession of the station's licensee or licensed representative who shall be represented shall present station which has being operated portable mobile station. Original station license should be available to the inspection authorized government official at all times the station is being operated, and at other times upon the request may be an authorized representative of the commission, except when such license has filed with the application, modification, renewal thereof, the mutilated, lost, and destroyed of the request has been made with duplicated. Any license regarding duplicate license replaced with original that has been lost, mutilated, destroyed shall submit of the statement setting forth of the facts regarding the matter in which the original license lost, mutilated, destroyed. If in subsequent receive the license of the duplicated license of the original is found either a duplicate of the original license shall be returned immediately to the commission. To discover the rules regarding availability of the purpose of the inspection of the operator license. Original operator license. Each operator should be kept with the personal possession of the operator while he is operating an amateur station. When operating an amateur station at fixed location, however, the license may be disposed of at a conspicuous place in the room occupied by the other operator. License should be available for inspection authorized government official whenever the operator is operating an amateur station, and the other times upon the request made by the authorized government official. Whenever the operator is operating an amateur station, other than other times upon the request made by the authorized representative of the commission, except when such license has been filed with the application, modification, or the renewal thereof, or has been mutilated, lost, destroyed. Request that has been made with a duplicate license of the government will not accept the photocopy of an operator's license, but you will not prohibit the photocopy your amateur radio operator license. 719. Describe the station by requirements. How long must the station log be retained? Accurate legal account with the station operation should be entered in the log. Each of the amateur radio stations except remotely controlled stations to which additional rules apply with the following items should be entered with a minimum. The call sign of the station, signature of the station license, and photocopy of the station license. 2. Location date of the fixed operation station initiated or terminated with the applicable location dates upon which portable operation was initiated with the term at each location. Date and time for periods in which duty control operator station was other than the station license. Signature primary station call sign with the duty control operator notation. Third party traffic sent received included names of all of the third parties, brief description of the traffic content of the entry with maybe the inform other than written, but one which can be readily transcribed, licensed in written form upon the direction commission. Upon the direction of the commission, additional information directed by shall be recorded with the station log. Station log is preserved for at least 1 year following the last day of the entry pertaining with the possession of the license. 720. Discover the rules regarding frequency measurement. Licensed amateur station shall provide with the measurement of the emitted carrier frequencies, and shall establish procedure for making such measurement regularly with the measurement of the emitted carrier frequency. Frequencies shall be made by means independent with the means used for the control of the radio frequency or frequencies generated by transmission transmitting apparatus and show sufficient accuracy to assure operation with the amateur frequency band used. 721. Three types of stations in which amateur stations may establish communication. Amateur stations may communicate with other amateur stations except for the amateur station located within certain countries of the government objective of such radio communication. These countries are listed on the public notice issued by the Commission. Stations and other services licensed the Commission. You have a government station with civil defense purposes, radio, amateur, civil, emergency services, or race in emergency on a temporary basis for the test purposes. Any station authorized to commission with a communicate an amateur station. 722. Under what circumstances may the Commission impose administrative sanctions against the amateur station? What are these sanctions? If Operation Amateur Station causes general interference with reception transmission stations operating in a domestic broad service, when receivers of good engineering design include adequate selective characteristics are used to receive such transmission, the fact that it was made by the amateur station licensed amateur should not be operated duty during hours at 8 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. Local time Sunday with an additional period of 10:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Local time upon frequency and other frequencies used with the interference is created with the general other shifts may be estimated to minimize the interference of stations operating in other services may require the after investigated with the Commission. Every case of the amateur station license is cited with a period of 12 consecutive months for second violation. Any of the provisions covering authorized frequency and emission with the B-side band frequencies out of band. C. Emission limitations, filtering, transmitter place, supply. E. Purity, stability, emission station license. If directed to do so by the Commission, the station shall not permit the operators from 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. on local time until the written notice has been received with authorized resumption full-time operation. This notice will not be issued with the license has reported with the result of the test of that has conducted at least two other amateur stations with the hours of other than 6 p.m. and 10:30 p.m. local time. Such tests are made with the specific purpose of adding a license for the determining with the emission of the station within accordance with the Commission rule. License shall report with the Commission with the observation made with the cooperation of amateur license relation with a remote violation. This report shall include a statement with the corrective measures taken to ensure the compliance with this rule. Every case wherever the amateur station license is cited with a period of 12 consecutive months for the third offense of the violation described with the previous paragraph of the station license, if directed by the Commission, shall not operate the station and shall not permit it to be operated from 8 a.m. to 12 midnight local time except for the purpose of transmitting prearranged tests observed with the monitoring station of the Commission to be designated each particular case. Station shall not be permitted to resume operation during the hours of the license authorized by the Commission following the test resume the full title operation. Result of the test license record shall be considered to determine if advisability to suspend the operator license, revoke the station license, or both. 723. When requiring a license, receive the official notice of violation of the Commission, and licensee with receiving the official notice of violation term of the Communication Act of 1934 as amended with the Legislative Act of the Executive Order Treaty of the United States as a party, or with the Rules Regulation Federal Communication Commission, shall within 10 days from such receipt send a written answer direct over the Office of Commission originating with the official note with the provided, however, the answer cannot be sent with acknowledgement and with a made with a 10-day period with a reason for the illness of the other than an unavoidable circumstance acknowledgement. An answer shall be made with the earliest practical date of satisfactory explanation of the delay. The answer with each notice shall be complete with itself with a not abbreviated reference for the other communication of the answer with the other notice of the notice relates to such violation may be due to physical electrical characteristics transmitting apparatus. Answer shall fully with what steps, if and are taken to prevent future violations. If the new apparatus is to be installed, such apparatus was ordered with the name of the manufacturer promised date of the delivery of the notification relates to some of the lack of attention, proper and improper operation of transmitting the name of the operator charged and shall be given. Can an amateur station engage in the form of broadcasting? Subject of the provision covered in emergency communication, amateur radio bulletins, round table discussions, net type of operations, code practice, transmission. Amateur stations shall not be used in engaged form of broadcasting, disseminating radio communications intended to receive by the public directly or by intermediate relay stations, not for the retransmission automatic means of the program by intermediate relay stations, nor the retransmission by automatic means of program signals and emanating from any class of station other than amateur. Foregoing provisions shall not be construed to prohibit amateur operators from giving consent with a rebroadcast state broadcast stations with a transmission of the amateur station provided with a transmission. An amateur station shall not be contained with a direct indirect reference to the rebroadcast. It is permissible to key alternative transmitted with a short test period of less than 1 minute without identifying with a transmission station. No licensed radio operator shall transmit unidentified radio communications or signals. 726. Why the rules regarding prohibited to the third-party traffic. Transmission and delivery of the following amateur of the radio communication is prohibited. 1. International third-party traffic, except for the countries which have asserted thereto. 2. Third-party involved with the material compensation, either the tangible, intangible, direct, indirect, or to a third-party station license control operator or any other person. Except for the emergency communication third-party, the traffic consists of the business communication on behalf of any party. For this purpose, the business communication shall have the meaning of the transmission communicating for the purpose of the facility with the regular business of the commercial affairs over any of the part. What transmission practice on amateur license are prohibited? Prohibited transmission practice are transmitting, receiving the message for hire, broadcasting, transmitting certain third-party traffic. See question 7.6 above. Transmitting music, transmitting unlawful purposes, transmitting message secret codes or ciphers. 7. The transmitted word obscenity, indecency, and profanity, transmitting false, deceptive signals, transmitting unidentified communication, and willfully interfering with radio communications or signals. 11. Willfully damaging radio apparatus installation in a licensed radio station, obtained with providing assistance with obtaining of an operator license fraudulent means. 13. Retransmitting radio signals. Who is eligible to the novice class of the amateur operator license? Anyone except for the representative of the foreign government over the novice class license is not renewable when general eligibility requirements of the amateur station license. Amateur radio station license is issued only with license amateur radio operator except for the military recreation station and the military recreation station license may also be issued with the individual or not licensed amateur radio operator other than the representative of the foreign government who is in charge of the proposed military recreation station not operated with the U.S. government but which was not located in the approved public quarters. 730. Under what condition will the Commission modify the station license? Whenever the Commission shall determine the public interest of the conveyance of the necessity would serve with any treaty ratified by the United States will be more fully complied by the modification radio station license, either limited to time for the duration of the term thereof that shall issue the order for such a license, such license shall not be modified. Such order shall call for the containment of the statement of the ground for the reasonable purpose of proposed modification shall specifically wherein said license is required for it to be modified. It shall require the license again with the directive of the appearance of the place and the time therein named in the event with not to be less than 30 days for the day of the receipt of the show of the web of the proposed modification shall not be made in the order modification issued. If the license against of the order shall call for the directive that does not appear with the time and place of the provided and said order of the final order modification shall issue forthwith. Which only one of the following shall not include the log over the amateur radio station. A, with the call sign station being called. B, the manufacturer of the equipment being used. C, with the signature. E, with the control operator. And the type of the mission. U, with the mission used. Message traffic handle. And the one that shows the dot included is the manufacturer equipment being used. Part 2, the general technician classes.